So, good evening, everyone. I thought we'd have a chat about yesterday's game with Man United. But first, we'll go back and have a quick chat about the Chelsea game. Personally, I was not expecting that result the other night down at Stamford Bridge. I really wasn't. I honestly predicted that we would get absolutely piped. But Chelsea, I think that night were pretty damn poor, and it was an amazing result and a great 3 points after the 3 shocking results previously. So what happened there? I don't know, but personally, I think it was Chelsea had a bad night. They rested a few players, but Arsenal actually did turn up. So great start. And so then we move on to yesterday. And that was another shock because I actually predicted, I did actually predict a 2-1 win to Arsenal. But let's be fair. It was 2 pretty poor teams having a fight, but nothing like the games of past with Arsenal, Man United, when Arsenal and that were vying for championships, cup games, semi-finals in the FA Cup. So let's have a look at where that game was. Now, I'm going to go through my player ratings that I did on Lee Gunner's fan cam and player ratings last night. And I'd just be interested to get your opinions on it, because we know we get a lot of upset people that, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 this, that and the other, because, all the Arteta sexuals come out the woodwork. Because let's get it right, they've all been quiet for 3 games. And then Wednesday night and yesterday on Lee's fan cam, the player ratings, Kenny's and mine, all of a sudden all the abuse comes out. But I suppose when people aren't winning, they're unhappy. They don't come out their bedrooms, they keep their curtains closed and they're sitting in bed crying. So unlike us real fans in here, where we take it on the chin when Arsenal lose and we ask the right, correct questions why we've lost, because we actually know about football, then we are of an ability to actually say, well, this is where it went wrong. So, let's forget about the keyboard warriors and move on and just discuss this. So, Ramsdale, in my opinion, yesterday went, I don't know, his distribution to me in the last few games hasn't been great. And he almost cost us a goal yesterday. He passed that ball out and there was a lot of knocking about at the back in the defence, and it was pretty poor. And I've seen that in the last 2 to 3 games. Now, let's put it right. When he first joined the club, I didn't want him. I didn't. I thought, why are we taking this guy who's been relegated 3 times on the bounce? But he's proved me wrong. And I'll always say, if a player proves me wrong, I'll give him 100%. And I'll always support the team on the day, even if I don't agree with the lineup. But okay, fair play to him. So I gave him a 6. He pulled off some couple of good saves, and I, in my opinion, stopped a couple of possible goals, especially the one he parried it onto the bar. So fair play to him. Cedric Suarez. Oh dear. Oh dear. He had a couple of good games, didn't he? But of late, I don't know what's happened to him. Is this the Arteta influence coming in again? Worries me. Worries me. It certainly does, because I think at the moment he's looking incredibly shaky. Sorry, but you know, scored the first goal. Nice little tap in. Great the fact that he actually followed up on his movement and did that, and you know, that put him up in my estimation. But he calls us one penalty. He could have called us two. You know, and I mean, I'm not a great footballer. Never was, never will be. Well, never will be now. But when you go up for a header, why is your arm there? Why? Because your natural body function is not to jump like that. Your natural body function is to jump and like that. But he's got his arm up there, so it's a stonewall penalty. And I just don't get that. So I marked him. I gave him a 5 purely and simply because he scored the first goal. And because he made the pass through, he continued his run and he got the tap in. So he got a 5. A lot of people said I was totally wrong. He deserved a 6. Okay. And a lot of people said it should have been a 3. Well, I thought, you know, I'll give him a 5 because he scored the goal, and you know, you could say that sort of balanced his error for the penalty. Yeah. Carl, honestly, mate, you don't want to take me. I'm way too old and way too short, man, for that one. But thanks for the offer. Well, actually, if they offered me a couple of million quid a year, I'd turn up. But yeah, there you go. So then we move on to Ben White. Benjamin, shall I call him Benjamin? I thought he was poor. And I'm sorry, we got absolutely done by Brighton for paying 52 million for that guy. You know, I just don't see at times. I'll be fair. I can think of 2 games this season where he's actually done well. But let's be fair. With the amount of games we have now played, for a 52 million pound player, I expect a lot more. So yeah, I gave him a 4. I'd like to get and hear what you're thinking about it, because I saw no more than that. But we move on to Gabriel. Now, I actually rate this player. I you know, when he first was playing, I actually was rating this fella. You know, but I don't know. He's dropped off. He looks like a frightened sheep to me. You know, he panics. Bit like Tavares. He seems to panic. Now, just to make a comment about Tavares, do you know, I would actually say under a decent coach, a proper manager, I'd actually like to see him as a winger. I think he'd do well. I think with his pace, and he has got some pretty decent dribbling skills. So, you know, I don't think Arteta could change him into that, but I actually think he'd be better. And I would actually like to see somebody nurture him into doing that, because I don't think he's ever going to be a great defender in my book. So getting back to Gabriel, yeah, worries me, panics me when he gets into difficult positions. I gave him a 4. Now, Arteta has brought it back in El Neni. Now, strange enough, on a show I did with Gracie May last Tuesday night, we discussed on that show, would you bring back in El Neni to mix it up? Now, it's obvious that Arteta watched the show, because surprisingly, at the Chelsea game, he brought in El Neni. So Arteta must listen to what my instructions are and my amazing technical knowledge of Arsenal. But yeah, I gave him a 9. He was, to me, a man of the match again. I thought he commanded that midfield against a very poor Man United midfield, to be fair. And happy to see it. Maybe he's seeing that, you know, he's been left out and wants to prove something, and I hope he continues to. I just hope that Arteta doesn't do the dirty and drop him against West Ham, because I think he's proving there is something in him. Now, I'm not going to say he's a great player, but in the last 2 games, he's shown some quality. So, you know, let's move it on. So, yeah, I gave him a 9. I think Lee gave him an 8, and a lot of other people in the chat, player ratings, gave him 8s and 9s. So we move on. Granit Xhaka, my favourite player. We all know that. Yesterday, yet again, he gives away a stupid yellow card. You know, you're standing 5 yards from the referee rules a free kick, and he kicks it up into the upper tier of the East Stand. You all know he's going to get a yellow card for that. Totally unnecessary. He's a professional footballer. Why do it? But he redeems himself with an absolute class shot. You know, it's 1 a year shot. 1 a year. A midfielder. A 1 a year shot. And it was a great goal. Let's get it right. You know, I'm not going to knock him for that. But the guy does not do enough as a supposedly leader in the midfield to score 1 goal a year. So because of that, I gave him a 7. And a lot of people, the Granit Xhaka love boys, said I was unfair and all this and all that. So we're getting a few comments. See what you guys are thinking. Yeah, Craig, I mean, El Neni was good against Chelsea and Man United. He was. He's been brought out of the closet because he's been locked away for such a long time. And I think he's done a great job, personally. I don't think he's brilliant, but he has turned up for those 2 games. So fair play to him. Gracie, yeah, they are watching us. Yeah, they are. You know, they're obviously watching your channel, Gracie, and they're watching here. So I'm half expecting Arteta to come in the chat very shortly and ask my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's laughable, isn't it, really? The man, the myth, living legend. Oh, cheers, man. I'm a legend because I'm old, basically. That's as simple as that. But we'll move on. And Odegaard. Now, this guy, to me, I just can't make him out at times. A couple of games ago, I thought he was unbelievable. I thought yesterday, in the first half, he was very good. But then he sort of disappeared in the second half. Yet, he's our captain. Personally, to me, the one person I would give the captaincy to is Ramsdale. And I've said this for years and years and years. David Seaman at times was captain. Pat Jennings back in the day was captain. Bob Wilson. I always think goalkeepers are good captains because they can see the whole spectrum of the pitch. They can see what happens. They can see where's going wrong. They can bollock the defence, and they can also get messages across the midfield. So yeah, okay. Why is Odegaard captain? I don't know. I don't think he particularly is a good captain. I don't see enough communication. I saw that with Aubameyang when he was captain. He never said sod all. But I think that is partly because Aubameyang towards the end didn't want to be here. He just didn't really give a shit. So that was a pointless decision. Xhaka doesn't want to be captain, and good, after the fact the way he abused the fans when he gave us the two fingers. And so Odegaard, I suppose at the moment we have to go to, but personally I preferred it when we had Tierney as captain. Sadly at the moment, obviously he's out for the rest of the season, so he's injured. There you go. But I'd give it to Ramsdale all day. So we move on. Saka. I thought yesterday he had a great game. I thought in a couple of games before the Chelsea game and yesterday he's been a little bit lacking. Whether that was down to tiredness, I don't know. But I thought he had a great game and I gave him an 8. And he scored 2 good penalties in the last 2 games. So, fair play to him. I mean, we'll move on to the Man United one a bit later. But Emile Smith-Rowe yesterday, well, I actually didn't realise he was on the pitch for the first 15 minutes. He did nothing yesterday. I thought he was very, very, very poor. And it was a good decision to sub him when he did for Martinelli, because he was bloody awful yesterday, and I gave him a 4. So, Nketiah, what can we say? Unlucky, got his goal disallowed yesterday, fractionally offside. It was a very close one, but VAR went in Arsenal's favour, and yet all the Arteta sexuals and all that, VAR are always against Arsenal. Well, it's clearly not, because they made the right decision. They went back to the first offence and gave the penalty, which was very well taken by Saka. But yesterday again, I thought that Nketiah had a decent game. I thought he played very well. He nearly actually got my man of the match at Chelsea, but excuse me, I thought El Neni against Chelsea just edged it. So let's get on to the substitutions. I gave Martinelli a 5. I don't think he really brought a lot to the party, to be honest. He tried, but didn't do an awful lot, personally. Rob Holding came on, did the job he had to do, but I'll give him a 5. Tomiyasu, he came on. Well, he didn't have a lot of time, did he? Let's be fair. But it's good to see him back, and I'm happy for that. He did make a couple of runs forward. I'm just glad to see him back. I think we need him back with the games coming up, because we've got West Ham away a week today, and that, all right, they were, I think, unlucky today to lose against Chelsea, but going to their ground is going to be tricky. All right, they've got a Europa League semi-final this week, so that'll be interesting. So all of the subs I basically gave a 5. Now, this is the interesting vote, that I gave Arteta an 8. And the reason I did give him an 8, because I thought he had the team set up reasonably well, and he made the substitutions at the right time. Now, the only disappointing thing I will say is that Pepe, if I was Pepe, I would have to say that at the end of this season, I would have to say, I want to go. I want to leave. Why am I here? You paid £72 million for me, but you don't play me. So let's go through a couple of comments here. Craig, Jez, why does Ramsdale get beat by his near post. Goalkeeper should not concede from there. Well, yeah, that's very true, man. Very true. That is a bit of a weakness, isn't it? And we all know that no goalkeeper should be beaten at their near post. But I suppose he needs to be coached out of that, to be fair. And oh, we got Stan back again. Nice to see you, Stan. Glad to see you. Can I ask you the question, mate? What are you going to do with Arsenal this summer? Pepe in, Arteta out. Quite right, mate. Quite right. But it ain't going to happen, is it? Let's get it right. If Arteta, let's get it right. If Arteta gets top 4, he is here until we get absolutely bounced in the Champions League. Absolutely. So, you know, I mean, even then, what has been your worst year supporting Arsenal? 74-75 season, we ended up 17th, nearly got relegated, to be fair. That was a proper shocking season. But the one thing I'll say for that is that the team was trying hard. It's just the team was getting older. And you know, we had some new players coming in, but they weren't ready. And yeah, that was a bloody awful time, to be fair, man. I mean, I that is definitely the worst I've ever seen. So, I mean, Arsenal have been bad since then, but somehow, I don't know, they seem to scrape it. And you could compare the latter years of Wenger, that, you know, like we were getting top four, but we weren't challenging for anything. Yeah, we won FA Cups. Now, you know, I love the FA Cup. I was brought up with the FA Cup. You know, it's a lot of people. Warren, you know, you remember, and he's talking about doing the show on his channel on FA Cup Day when he used to have the road to Wembley, and you'd have the TV cameras and helicopters and all that, but they'd follow the team buses up to the Wembley and all this. It started like at 9 in the morning on BBC One and ITV, the only channels at the time, and it was a great time. It was a great time, but FA Cups are great, but leagues, you know, that is what we want. That is what elite teams at Arsenal used to be, should be challenging for. And let's be fair, we haven't really challenged for it since the 2016 season when Leicester won it. And let's put it right, Arsenal were the only team that season to beat Leicester twice. The only team to beat Leicester twice, home and away. And Leicester came first, Spurs I think was second, and Arsenal third, if I remember rightly. But there we go. So losing the Wrexham away in the FA Cup was my worst game. I'll tell you the worst one, mate, for me was losing to York City away in the FA Cup. That was pretty, and yeah, Wrexham was bad, but losing to, at least Wrexham were in a higher division at the time. So people are so rude. Get a life, stop bothering Jez. I don't know who it is, Gracie, but there you go. I don't care. I'm too old to care, to be fair. So I think we came second as Spud's complete. Yeah, I think you might. Yeah, I think you might be right, mate. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we did actually. We did. Yeah, that's right. You're right. Yeah, you are right. My mistake. Favourite Arsenal away game of all time? Oh, God. Well, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, my friend, there's a couple, 3 of them, in fact. First one is winning the league 89 at Liverpool, Anfield. The next one would be actually being at Old Trafford when we won the league, and also when we won the league at White Hart Lane. So yeah, they were amazing times, absolutely amazing times. So anyway, moving on. So now everybody's claiming that Arsenal have, or Arteta's fixed the defence. Now, currently, we've won 19 games, drawn 3, lost 11. And we are 1 goal away from conceding more than we did last season. Now, we've got 5 games to go. And, you know, those games, some of those games can be banana skins. So we got next Sunday, West Ham away. And West Ham, let's be fair, they're a pretty decent outfit at the moment. You know, they're facing a semi-final on Thursday, is it? Or whenever it is, Wednesday, Thursday. So we can't take that one lightly. And I thought today they were unlucky against Chelsea, personally. I mean, it's been a weekend, though, of crap free kicks, isn't it? I mean, Jorginho's today, I mean, dear God, what was that about? We've then got Leeds at home. Now, I would think we would get a result there. I seriously hope we would get a result there. Because Leeds now are basically, I think, they're nowhere. They're not going up. They're not going to get relegated. They're stuck where they are. So they're basically got 1 foot on the aircraft on the way to the beach. Then we're away to our noisy neighbours, Spurs. Now, all right, they drew yesterday to Norwich, but when it all comes to North London derby, it's a different game. And we know that Spurs away, we haven't done well there in recent times. So it could be a banana skin. I mean, at the moment, it's Arsenal's to throw away this glorious top 4 spot that everybody makes out is going to make us into the next Barcelona. Really? Okay. Then we're away to Newcastle. Now, let's be fair, they're in a resurgence. Now, Arsenal have got, in recent years, always had a great record up at Newcastle, but at the moment, that's a different game. That is a different place to go. And, you know, Newcastle, I love Newcastle. I love Newcastle Football Club. The fans are amazing. The whole atmosphere at St. James's Park is just something else. It is seriously something special. And then, last game of the season, which I think pretty much by then Everton may well have been relegated after they lost today by 2-0 to Liverpool, is Everton. And to be fair, Everton, that'd be a great shame to see them get kicked out of the Premier League. You know, I mean, that club has got so much history. But we'll see what happens, won't we? Joanne says, Carl, I do indeed Sunday we will get hammered, literally. Well, Joe, it's potentially possible, isn't it? Because, you know, it's difficult times. And Arsenal have, hey, let's get it right. You know, we go to Crystal Palace, lose 3-0. We then lose to Brighton and Southampton. So 3 games, really. I mean, I never thought we'd get a good result out of Palace because Palace away is always a difficult one. They've got a great manager who's got them with a great game plan, and they've got a way of going forward. So I always thought that was going to be a dodgy one. Losing at home, come on to Brighton, dear God, come on. I mean, but Graham Potter, you know, he's got a way of he's got that team playing well. I mean, I went to Brighton Arsenal last season, early last year, and you know, I mean, you can see that guy. It was a horrible day. It was windy. It was cold. It was peeing with rain. And you had Arteta out there doing his antics and landing planes at Gatwick Airport, whereas Graham Potter was just sat there looking at him like, I could see, you know, what the hell are you doing? What does all this mean? Do your players understand what you're actually doing? All this stuff, this bullshit? And that is where I have I mean, this is what I don't get with these Arteta sexuals, why they love this guy, because at the end of the day, he isn't good enough. And I've seen, you know, I mean, people have made comments about getting us into the Champions League. With this current squad, and let's be fair, let's get it right. If we qualify for the Champions League, we're third seeded in the groups. Third. So we're going in at the same level of the likes of Bruges and all that. So, you know, no disrespect to them, but this is what the certain Arsenal fan base want, because they think the Champions League is going to bring us massive glory. Oh, because it will attract better players. Why? Why will it? What is the attraction of coming to Arsenal Football Club at this point in time? I don't think the top players that we need will be attracted by a manager like Arteta. And now, you know, I just said on Lee's show earlier, back in time, we got in players like Thierry Henry, Vieira, Robert Pires, because we had a manager who the players could see was going to do something. And all right, the relationship between Wenger and Henry Wenger had managed him in the past, so there was something there. But Wenger had inroads to the French international team for starters, so he had something there. But we also had behind the scenes two incredible people on the board, Sir Peter Hillwood and David Dean. And these guys were fantastic negotiators. I don't believe that Edu and Vinay are any good. I seriously don't. I mean, let's talk about that. What did Edu do last summer to do actually serious negotiations? What did he do? Nothing. Because he's more happy on his bloody jet ski smoking his cigars. And then we get the bullshit comments from his son. Oh, I never see my dad on holiday. He's always on the phone. Yeah, probably ordering a curry or, you know, his next lovely Michelin star meal at the restaurant that night. You know, sorry, I don't get it. And all these people that make out this is all the great foundation of the club, you're talking bollocks. You're talking absolute shit. And the hatred that Lee, Kenny and I get, it's just laughable, because all these little idiots want to follow the big shows that are doing it because that's the way they get their likes and their views. They don't speak from the heart. They don't speak in honesty like I do now, and Lee does and Kenny does. You know, I'll never have a massive show because I speak the truth. I speak as it is. And people, unfortunately, in this fan base don't like that. It's wrong. I'm wrong, you know. But there we are. Carl, Jez, if anything, those ridiculous hand gestures Arteta does every second is more distracting to the players. Well, yeah, you're right, mate, because at that game at Brighton, Thomas Partey was coming up the wing and Arteta was doing all this and all that and doing whatever he's doing, like he's bloody knitting. And Thomas Partey stopped, looked at him, and he was like, "That, what do you want me to do? What are you asking me to do?" He was like, "Well, what am I supposed to be doing then?" And it was absolute bullshit. So, where are Arsenal going to go? What is going to happen to Arsenal Football Club come the end of the season? We've got no cup competitions. We're out of them. He's knocked us out the FA Cup, Arteta, that is, early for the last 2 years. After the glorious triumph that he won it, well, he fluked it. Let's get it right. You know, if it hadn't been for the 2 goals that Sheffield United had disallowed, we wouldn't even got there. So, yeah, Sam, I mean, you know, going from a guy like David Dean to Edu is like going from a Ferrari to a Renault Robin. Yeah, you're right, mate. Absolutely. You know, it's just a different world. And, you know, it's a sad, sad indictment of this club where we're going. And Drew, I mean, yeah, you're right. We're certainly not moving forward. We aren't. I mean, it's just pathetic in my book. I mean, I was fortunate, and a lot of you guys have all seen the great times, but we've also seen the bad times. I've never seen it as bad as this. I really haven't. I mean, well, the 70s, yeah, I mean, yeah, after 71, it went into a big decline. In 74, 75, we nearly got relegated. But I just don't understand how we're going to move forward when we continually do the same thing. It's just a bloody roundabout, isn't it? You know, it's round and round and round again with Arteta. Yeah, I don't understand what people actually see in this guy. I certainly don't. There's something I don't know. There's something I'm missing, something I've missed out in all the years of watching Arsenal Football Club. So please, somebody tell me what I'm missing out on, because I certainly don't know. But there you go. But the game's coming up. I'm going to give you my predictions, and we'll see how wrong I can be, because I'm usually wrong. I'm going to go West Ham away. I'm going 1-1. And I'm going to write these down just to see. I'm going 1-1. Arsenal Leeds, I'm going to go. I'm actually going to go 3-0 Arsenal. Spurs Arsenal, I'm going to predict a 2-2 there. Okay. Newcastle Arsenal, I'm going to predict 2-1 Arsenal. I'm being very favourable. Arsenal Everton, I'm going to go 4-0. Last game of the season, Everton will probably be relegated by then. So that's my predictions. So I'm going 1-1, West Ham away. I'm going Arsenal Leeds, I'm going 3-0. And I'm going Spurs Arsenal 2-2. They're always tight. Always tight. And I'm going Newcastle Arsenal only on historical purposes, personally. And I'm going 4-0 Arsenal Everton. So we'll see how wrong I'll be. So let's see what you guys are saying. And we've got Craig's going West Ham 2-1. Fair dues. Yeah, I can't disagree. You know, fair play. It's a good call. And we've got Gracie. What's great? Gracie, mate, it's going to be interesting end of the season. It's coming to a close. I'm looking forward to it being over, to be honest. Hopefully we can get rid of the fraud. Well, I think sadly, Gracie, if Arsenal get fourth, we're stuck with him. We will be stuck with him for at least the next 6 months. And I think we'll be stuck for him because I honestly believe if he gets top 4, he'll get a contract. If he hasn't already been offered a contract and the deal's been done. So, yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I can't see it. Take me back, Pirate Radio Archives. Time will prove your point. Sadly, Jezzy's contracted until June 2023 and will get a soul-destroyed extension of 3 years. And you watch after he fails with us, he'll be lucky to even manage a team like Watford. Well, yes, mate, I think you could well be right there, sadly. What's that one? Grace is going. Sorry, it's going. Arsenal do West Ham 3-0 as they have a big Europa game a few days before. Well, you could be right there, mate. I mean, they are going to have to put the top team out, aren't they? Is it Thursday night? I think it's Thursday night, isn't it? So they've only got Friday, Saturday to recover. So, yeah, fair play. Good call. But looking forward to what's going to happen with Arsenal, I don't know. It's going to be really shocking, I think, to be fair. I can't see any way out of this absolute bloody mess with Arteta. And the one thing, I said it earlier, the one thing that saddens me is with the summer transfer window coming up. I've heard reports or seen reports he's going to get 120 million to spend. But we all know Vinay and Arteta don't spend it on the right players. He's proven it. 52 million on Ben Shite. You know, dear God, I mean, Brighton must be laughing at us when we came knocking on the door. Can these people not actually negotiate a decent bloody fee? Because it's a joke. It is a joke. But there we are. I think we've got. Yeah, Brandon, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Zoe, Arsenal versus West Ham could go either way. Yeah, it could. It could. You know, it's a difficult place to go. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. That's for sure. Tough one. Never can predict Arsenal. No, you can't. I've been saying that for years. Let's be true. You know, it's the Arsenal way. You know, would you take Jesus from Chelsea, from City, Jez? No, I wouldn't, mate. I wouldn't. Be honest with you. I was asked this yesterday. Jesus? No, I wouldn't. I know he played well yesterday, but no, I wouldn't. I'll be quite honest with you. Good. Keeps moving him out too quickly. Yeah, Joe. Yes, indeed, Jez. Ben Shite, Brighton must been saying mucks. Them lot buying Ben Shite from us. Yeah, all day long. All bleeding day long. And as Sam says, you know, Sam, 52 million on Ben White could have not loaned out Sleeper and spent that 52 million on a player we actually needed. Exactly. We bought this kid for 25 million. He's played 45 minutes in a friendly against MK Dons, and yet we palm him out. Where is the sense in that? Guendouzi, you know? Dear God, I mean, this is what concerns me so much with Arteta. He seems to be blinkered that it's either his way or it's the highway. And if you don't fall in with what he thinks, you're out the door. And that is absolutely proven with Aubameyang. They obviously fell out a long time ago. And I don't agree with Aubameyang's ill discipline in a couple of things that he did. He turned up late, didn't he? Let's get it right. For the North London derby. And he was not on the in the squad. No, I don't agree with that at all. But a decent manager knows how to manage strong characters. Simple, you know. Guardiola Klopp wouldn't accept it, but they would sit him down. They wouldn't just act like a sulky little baby. They'd sit him down and have a chat and talk it out and see what your bloody problems are. But no, Arteta. You upset Arteta, mate, you're done. I'm pretty convinced that is why lack of threat is done. He's had enough of Arteta. You can see it when he has played and Arteta's talking to him at a walk break. He's not even listening. He doesn't give a shit what Arteta's saying. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he's just basically, said, sod you, I'm off. I don't want to be here. I don't want to play for you. And I'm sure when he goes in the summer, a bit like Aubameyang, it will come out eventually somewhere what he thinks of Arteta. And yet we've got all the fan base loving Arteta, yet he's got rid of our best striker that we had and couldn't get a tune out of him. Strange, isn't it? But, that is the way it is. So, yeah, Tony, I mean, Arteta's highway is going off a cliff. The smart players push for a move. For fuck's sake, even Bellerin has won a trophy. Yeah, he has. Fair play to him, I mean, I didn't rate him at all, but there you go. Well, well done. He moved on. Although, isn't he still? Is he only on loan? Isn't he? Am I right in saying that? Craig, Jez, the reason the Cronkies went for Arteta as a manager because he was the cheaper option. Yeah, all day. I mean, I was a Unai Emery in. I was. I mean, the guy got us to a final where the team didn't turn up. I hear all this bullshit about it was a problem with the language, that he didn't speak English very well. Well, I remember a couple of other managers years ago, you had to have interpreters at different clubs. So I'm not buying that at all. I just think the Arsenal board brought him in as an interim manager because they had Arteta lined up all the time. It's a bit like when Arsenal brought in Bruce Rioch. He came in and he was the guy, let's get it right, that signed Bergkamp. A lot of people, you ask, they think it was actually Wenger. It wasn't. It's Bruce Rioch. I think all along the lines, it was Sir Peter Hillwood and David Dean's thing was to get in Wenger after his contract at Grampus 8 in Japan was coming to an end. I'm convinced of that. Absolutely convinced of that. Gracie, I'm going 2-1 Arsenal against West Ham. But then again, I would be surprised if it went the other way. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky, it's a banana skin, that one. It certainly is. So, yeah, I mean, as Drew said here, Dennis Bergkamp, absolute legend. I mean, he was a proper footballer. Absolute proper footballer. And Craig, if Emery had the backing like Arteta had, you would see the difference between the two managers. Absolutely. Well, he's proved it, didn't he? Kicked us out of the ECL last year. Showed absolute dignity. Didn't go on the pitch. And just walked down the tunnel. Let his players and the fans celebrate. So you can't say more than that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please give us a like, give us a sub, and also go and sub to Warren's Team Talk and Gracie May's channel. They do awesome stuff. Also, Del Boy Gooner. I was on with Warren on Del Boys on Friday night, and we were talking about the seasons that and that's a great channel. So go and subscribe to that. I think Warren and I are back on with Del Boy this Friday to finish off that season. I think Tuesday night I'm on with Gracie May, and that's always good fun. So please, everybody, give it a like, give it a sub. Hope you're enjoying the content. I'm going to drop another Arsenal history one tomorrow, which will be all about Arsenal coming into the change of the century, 1900-01 season. And there's some interesting things happen. And around that time of Arsenal, a lot of interesting things happen. Lots of controversies, lots of problems. And, oh, we got Connor. Connor's in the chat. This guy, Connor. Hello, mate. Yeah, go and sub to Connor's channel. I went to sub to him earlier and does some great stuff. And very clever guy as well, and stuff he can do. So tomorrow night, more content. And as I say, I'll be on with Gracie on Tuesday night. And big love. Let's see what happens next Sunday at West Ham. I'll go with my prediction. It's going to be a 1-1, and we'll see how wrong I can be. I'm usually wrong. But thanks for everybody for watching. Sorry about my cough, but take care. Have a great evening, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Cheers now.